Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Noble Credit. In today's video, we're going to be going through the $400 Hilton Resorts Credit that you get with the Hilton Aspire credit card, how to use it, and then I'm going to throw in the secret sauce, especially for those of you who are active duty military, which should be a lot of you following this channel because I am an active duty service member. And one of the reasons why I started this channel is to help out my brothers and sisters in the service. So hopefully I can give you guys some information that will help you and your families out. But if you're not active duty military, that's fine too. You'll still learn some secret sauce and how to do this because the Hilton Aspire card is one of the special credit cards where even if you don't get the annual fee waived, you still get a tremendous benefit out of having multiple of the card. So without further ado, let's jump into this walkthrough. So once you apply for the Hilton Aspire credit card, you will get, once you're approved for the card, and the card arrives, you'll be able to use the Hilton Resorts credit, and it's going to be $200 from January until June, and then another $200 from July until December. So you have to be a little strategic about how you use it. I have a few recommendations on how to go about using your $200 that I'm going to walk you through here. Now I'm just going to navigate to the Hilton website and show you, kind of walk you through what I would do, how I've done it. I've done a couple of these bookings, actually more than a couple, because the Hilton Resorts Credit has been around for years. But back in November of 2023, they changed it up a little bit on us. So it used to be $250, now it's $400, but so it's more money, but it's less money that you can use at a time. That sounds a little complicated, but overall, it's better because you get more money, but still, it was nice when we could use $250 at one time because properties under Hilton Resorts that filter under Hilton Resorts, you're really not going to find too many of them under the $200 mark. That $250, that extra $50 gave you a little bit more leeway in order to get more value out of that Hilton Resort credit. So when I jump into here, I'm going to be dealing with $200, not $400, $200. That's where I'm looking to get the most value out of. You can still get value out of properties that are over the $200 mark, but you're just paying a little bit more. I want it to be as free as possible for you. Obviously, the $200 subsidizes things a little bit. So let's see what we can do. First comment says, Noble from Keith Witherspoon Vlog says, Noble, what's up again? Here are the here for the game. Currently have 2 Aspires. Excellent. Yeah, and so if you're active duty military, you should definitely have multiple Aspire cards. But I'm going to throw the link tree just in case you don't have a Hilton Aspire credit card. I'm going to throw the link tree in the comments so you can pick up one. And then you'll eventually be able to do this because using methods like this in conjunction with the free night certificate has allowed me to get thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of value. So it's a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and jump into my incognito mode. All right. Let me find my window. All right, follow along with me. I'm going to go to hilton.com/resorts, and I'll go ahead and copy that into the chat so you can follow along with me. Now, at hilton.com/resorts, you're going to go. So as you can see, I'm not signed in. You don't need to be signed in for this. Yeah, so at this point, I'm going to scroll down to the button, this blue button that says View All Resorts. Now, it's going to kind of show you where I'm based out of. So right now, I'm in that mid-Atlantic region in the United States. But it's going to show you, based on this map, because this is as far zoomed out as I can be, it's going to show you all the properties that the Hilton Resort Credit is going to work for. Now, what you want to do is you want to stay at properties where it becomes somewhat free for you to do. So there are going to be some properties like, let's go down to the Caribbean. to like Anguilla, and we're gonna see a property that we're gonna see a property for $788. Now, this is a very nice property, but I would use a free night certificate on this $788 property instead of a $200 resort credit on it. So, and when you're looking at properties, you have to see this resorts filter right here. Hopefully, pretty sure the cursor should be. Ooh, the screen record doesn't show you the cursor. That's fine. But hopefully, you see in that top right corner where it says resorts, you need to have that filter on, and that's what we did when we clicked that blue button at first. So let me get out of this property. As you can see in the rest of the Caribbean, you see this property right here. This is St. Kitts. So this property is $132. This would be perfect for this because it's going to be less than the $200 resort credit. So it's like you're staying here for free. Obviously, you got to get there, but that's where the secret sauce is about to come in, where instead of like doing this dummy booking, I'm gonna have to pick which night we stay. All right, let's say we're not staying in some random night in March. Let's say we're actually staying in like a high season, like let's say June. Actually, you know what? Let's pick like the night of June 7th. So June 7th through June 8th. All right, we'll pick that. And then let's see the price of it. So we want that Seaside King for $169. You can get that Oceanfront King, but remember, if you have that Hilton Aspire credit card, you're probably going to get a room upgrade. This is very beneficial for you because you don't have to pay as much money for a more standard room. So instead of booking the oceanfront room, I mean, you could in certain circumstances, it might be in your best interest too. But since you get diamond status, you're probably going to get the upgrade. So let's do the Seaside King. And now you're seeing a bunch of different rates. So the Hilton Honors discount sounds like a really good option, right? Because if you remember, you get a discounted rate. It's 171. That sounds great, but let's keep going because I'm about to get to the secret sauce. This one actually doesn't have the non-refundable rate booking. However, it does have another Hilton Honors discount at 169. So we would do this one because, as what you're about to see, yeah, it's not going to be 169 bucks to book this room. It's going to be $210. So you would be coming out of pocket $10.18. Now, hang on, I got a comment. Let me make sure I get to this. Do you have Marriott cards or do you use all 5 slots for the Aspires? Jack R said that. I have 3 Hilton Aspires, and then I have 1 Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, and then I have 1 Delta Reserve. That Delta Reserve just became pretty OP for doing things like this because ideally you want to be traveling with someone else, right? You know that this is part of what makes life worth living. You could solo travel, and that's completely fine as well. But ideally, you would want someone to travel with. That Delta Reserve gets you a companion pass, and it used to be that the Delta Reserve only gave you a companion pass for the continental United States. Now, and I believe Hawaii was also part of that. Now you can go to Central America and to the Caribbean using a companion pass. That's huge because you couldn't do that before. Now you can. Now you can get to St. Kitts on Delta if they offer a Delta flight there for the price of one person. Or you can get to Panama City. I have plans to go to Panama City one of these days because I want to use the Fine Hotels and Resorts. I want to do a come up off of that Fine Hotels and Resorts. That Fine Hotels and Resorts in Panama City is crazy value, like unbelievable value for a property that you can stay at for one night and then you can move out of there the next night to a property across the street and you can come back because you can't double you can't double book fine hotels and resorts with the American Express Platinum card. I have a way for you to do that, but if you're by yourself, uh, you alone can't do it. So it has to be more than 24 hours that elapses before you can do the fine hotels and resorts. Um, Again, for one card issuer, how I would do it as a player, as a person who has a player two setup with my wife having American Express Platinum cards, I would book one night myself, and it doesn't really matter if the hotel, like when you go check into a hotel, if you have a player two, your player two can be right next to you, or they can go sit in the lobby or something. I would just have player two go sit in the lobby. So when I'm checking in for one person. They ask me if I want a room key. I said no, I don't need it. And then we go to the room, and the next night when I check out, player two checks in because now I'm staying at the hotel 2 nights in a row. I kind of get around that rule. Um, and the last name shouldn't really uh, be that big of a deal, especially if they change, if the shift changes. But whatever. That's Final Hotels and Resorts. This is more about Hilton Aspire. But let's get back to where was I? Whew. Okay, so this property will be $10.18 out of pocket. So if I booked like a slightly cheaper room, basically like $10 cheaper. So if I had that 149 booking, which one of the days, or yeah, instead of the 169, if I had like the June 5th through the June 6th, and then I booked the Mountain King room, and then with the Hilton Honors discount, it comes to 146. And then the total price is $181.62. So the room is completely free. So this is how you will book. Now let's go through. This is just a good example of how to use it for like one of uh, these nicer destinations in the Caribbean. And if you're military, I definitely recommend using the Delta Reserve for one of your slots so that you can get there for the price of one. But if you're flushed with points, then you don't have to get a Delta Reserve. But eventually, you will run out of points one day. But let's take a look domestically at like a Miami, and let's see if they have any properties that are under $200 because this is where you're going to get the most value. All right, we see right here we're at, this is what, South Beach. I see a property for 175. So we will click on this. We see, okay, so 175. Look at the pictures. Okay, nice pictures. See a property down here. So you see properties at 445, 474, 257, 188. A property under $200 in South Beach. Is there really going to be that big of a difference? Let's say that this property for 445, they have like a pool, and you're like, oh, I want to stay there because they have a pool. Well, first, you're on the beach. Second, you could probably access their pool if you felt like it. It's not like it's like security is super tight on that Miami Beach resort. You just kind of walk through. Like they're not going to ask for your key card, but you would book the $175 property, and then we go to select dates. And let's say you were going, prices start getting steep here. I don't know why prices just started getting steep. Let's see about April. Okay. Yeah, prices are starting to hit. I don't know why they said 175. See, this is why you got to be really careful. All right, I see the cheapest price is around that 214 mark. So let's see. And don't worry, I haven't even given you the secret sauce yet. So this $214 booking, you would do the $232 booking, and then it ends up being $265. So that's $65.18 out of pocket. That's good. But I think we can do better. And sometimes you can decide where you stay, like where do you travel to based on the Hilton Resort Credit, especially if you have multiple Hilton Aspire cards. That becomes an easy decision because the hotel a lot of times is going to cost, like, especially if maybe there's more than two of you, you might be paying more for the hotel than you do for the flights in some cases. Because let's say you pay for the flight with points, well, that didn't really cost you all that much. But then you come out of pocket on the hotels because you're staying for, let's say, 4 or 5 nights, then you're running up the tab. Now, there are destinations where it's going to work better, like the the resort is going to work better. So like right here in, oh, you see one right here in Norfolk or Virginia Beach. I personally wouldn't want to travel here, wouldn't want to travel to Virginia Beach to stay at a resort. But if you just so happen to be there, then you're going to get this is $165 or $149. You're going to get this uh, subsidized and it's going to be for free. So let's check the $165 Embassy Suites booking. Let's do July. Ooh, these prices are wild. Okay, let's see June. All right, these prices are still wild. I don't know where they got the. Maybe it's before the summer hits is where the prices start getting more reasonable. Um, okay, I see 190 right there. So the same thing, right? Let me check the comments. This content is game. Shah Nawaz Farid says this content is game changer. Much appreciated. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this is why I do is I try to help as many people as I can. So maybe the NBC Suites one isn't working or wouldn't work for the $200 credit to fully subsidize it. But let's see if the this other one will work. Which one was this? This is the Hilton Virginia Beach Oceanfront. All right, I'm seeing 149, 157. Okay, so May 20th or May 19th through 20, 149. Or sorry, that's April. And then we pick. Wait, the price just jumped. The price jumped something crazy just there. Okay. All right, let's try this April 11th through the 12th. All right, so you kind of got to find, kind of knows like the seasons, like the summer months, much more expensive. So be aware of that. Now, is it worth me getting a cheaper room, like a double rather than a king? Not really. Even though I expect to get an upgrade, I'm I'm probably just gonna get the cheapest king that I can see. So here I see the one king. Oh, here's that non-refundable rate. This is game changer because the non-refundable rate is going to be way less expensive for some reason. So you're going to get this for 157 and it comes to 183 out of pocket. So this is this is a secret. I have another secret for using the credit, but this would obviously work because you would only like, and you would still have like $17 left. Not that you're just gonna stay somewhere and bank on, ooh, this is $17 cheaper. It doesn't really matter. So this is typically going to be free for you. Let's see. Let me see the comments. Okay. Shanawaz Farid says, when I look up resorts in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, they have Conrads that come at 120, 150 per night. So the resort credit can cover the room rate. Oh, so the resort credit can cover the room rate? Just select flex or semi-flex rate. So let's check because Dubai is one of Dubai, UAE. That is one of the secrets in this world for some reason. Like I would say, as far as hotels goes, Vegas is Vegas is a place that you can get like super cheap hotels. Let me see. Let me see how cheap they're going in Vegas. See, like we're looking at Vegas right now, and I see 87 down here, Hilton Vacation Club. That's just easy. You can get 2 nights for that. You're coming out of pocket a little bit, but for one night, and that's a little off the strip, but it's okay. Uh, no, the Hilton should be on the strip. But anyways, oh, I see Conrad right here at Resorts World. I've stayed there. Um, so yeah, some of these you can get really good value out of, and it's a location thing like Vegas because they're gonna make so much money off of you from gambling. They don't really care to charge as much for their hotels. But let's move over here to the UAE and see if they have any properties. And look, we got 19, we got 15, and then the comment said Abu Dhabi was, yep. So you gotta, I download an app. I download an app called the Currency Converter to do it super quickly. Where is my currency converter? Yep. So the Currency Converter app, you're not going to be able to see it like that. Currency Converter app looks like that. So you just type in whatever the amount of money is in AED. I'm guessing that's, well, I'm not guessing. I know. Uh, I don't know the exact name of it. Let me see. Emirati dirham. So that's Dubai or the UAE's currency, and you would type that in. So I see right here, this is Abu Dhabi that I'm hovering over, and I see 934 for Abu Dhabi, or I see 576 at the Conrad Abu Dhabi Etihad Towers, which, fun fact, I will be staying there. So there's like a reason, there's like a rhyme and reason to all of this. And I'm glad that comment mentioned that. But so I'm going to convert the AED to US dollars. So that's 576, and that's $156. You use that Hilton Resort credit, that becomes free. Now, if you wanted to stay multiple nights, you would, it matters. Sometimes it matters to the day of the week, but these properties are going to be really good. And even though there's properties that cost more than 576 AED, it's like what difference is really going to be there when one is a Conrad, they're like the highest level of Hilton, like almost up there with or around the same level as like a LXR Luxor or a Waldorf Astoria. So you got the Conrad, Abu Dhabi, Etihad Towers, and you can stay there for free. That's an easy decision. And now we move over to Dubai. Dubai. All right, so Dubai's airport is like right around, and the reason why I'm showing you what Dubai's airport is because it kind of matters, like how far you are away from, like where your flight comes in at. So Dubai's airport is here, and like down here, or excuse me, sorry. Dubai's airport is right here, and then this is where like the Burj Khalifa is, the tallest building in the world. So, where's the Burj? Somewhere around here. I can't see it right now. But yeah, so and then this area is like the downtown area ish. But there's this area over here called the Palm. Now you can see there's not many properties under that 200 based on 576 being under 200. So there's not many properties right here under, but you have a property up here, the Conrad Dubai, that you could stay at. This area is where I'll be staying at when I head to Dubai. This is a really nice area. Um, I've had being in the military, I have people that I work with who have been to this area because ships like to dock over here, and this is where a lot of port calls happen over in this area of the world. But your best bet is going to be this Conrad for the resort credit. The Fine Hotel, excuse me, not Fine Hotels and Resorts. Fine Hotels and Resorts also works, but for the resort credit, that Conrad Bali is going to be your best bet. For FHR, this becomes a little different. So with American Express and the Fine Hotels and Resorts, you're going to see properties. You're going to see properties around here going for a little less, but I'm personally using. I don't think I'm using FHR. I'm pretty sure I'm using a free night certificate for these properties, but I can actually double check that because I write everything down. Let me see, the trip around the world. Yeah, so yeah, I'm using FHR credits. I'm using American Express FHR, and then I'm also using FHR for the Abu Dhabi as well. So yeah, whole thing. I'm staying in 3 different hotels in Dubai. When I'm there, I'm going to be there for like 4, 5, 6 days, one of those. And I'm using FHR. So FHR is a really big thing, especially if you have multiple platinum cards, which in the military, you guys should. Um, but yeah, so this will be the secret sauce. And now I got to give you like the real secret. The real secret. All right. So check this out. And I'll show you with an exact booking that I have done. I haven't fully finished it. I finished booking, but I haven't fully finished playing out the plan. Anybody ever heard of Bali? Bali, Indonesia? So this is where you got to get your currency converter out again. So Bali, Indonesia has some Hilton properties right here. See this Conrad Bali, and then there's this Hilton Bali Resort. I am going to, where am I? Okay, so we're going to do the Conrad Bali, even though it's more expensive. The reason for this is now it does come down to reviews and how you are going to get more enjoyment out of your vacation, because these 2 properties are actually relatively far from, like, they're far from each other, but they're even further from the airport. So I don't want to be so far from the airport because we're going to be there for a little bit of time. I think around 4 days. So I want it to be in the best area, and all the reviews are saying that the Conrad Bali is better. But now for this one, I'm going to check the dates. I'm not going to give the exact dates on when I'm staying because it does get quite expensive. So it ends up being, this is the June 21st through the 22nd. This ends up being 2,907,000 Indonesian rupiah. So I'll click on this, and then there is where is my advanced purchase? The advanced purchase is going to be the easy one, or the cheapest one. This is the one where it's non-refundable though, because no cancellation. So you got to be really sure that you're going to make this. So I'll book that, and then it ends up being 3,500,000, or excuse me, 3,500,000 something rupiah. Now in my currency converter, that currency converter app is really important if you want to travel the world. So I type in Indonesian rupiah IDR, and then I type in 3,517,470, and this comes out to $222.43. So I would be coming out of pocket $22.43. However, if I decide to stay there 3 nights in a row, what's 222 times 3? That's 666. Now the credit is only going to be for $200. So where's the secret coming in? Since you can prepay, and let me bring the screen on me. Okay. Since you are allowed to prepay, you can contact the hotel, multiple Hilton Aspires, right? You can contact the hotel and request that so when you book it through Hilton, it's just going to reserve it. It's not going to pay, all the rupiah at one time. But what you can do is you can request either a form or they'll provide some way that you can pay it up front so that you can use your Hilton Resort credit on multiple cards. So since I have 3, this is just an example, and I know this is going to be $600 and something for 3 nights. It's going to be actually a little bit more than that, but it would still end up you coming out of pocket only a little bit compared to having to pay $600 and something. What I opted for is pay $200 and then use that for one card, and then use a second payment method. All these cards have to be in your name. So if you have a player 2, like myself, and they still have Hilton Resort credit for this time period, then you can use them. You just have to have an authorized user card because the card has to be in your name. So I would do $200 on my card, and let's say I use another card. Now I do another $200 on my other card, and let's say I'm done. I don't have any Hilton Resort credits left. Then I use a player 2 card, authorized user because it has to be in my name, and then I do the rest, $266 on that card, and that adds all up to the $666 that I owe. And now I just used the 3 credit cards for the Hilton Resort credit, but I didn't have to come out of pocket $466 by only using one. That's why it's so important that you have multiple Hilton Aspire cards if you're in the military, because it allows you to stay places longer and it makes everything just that much cheaper for you since you don't have to pay the annual fee. That's the secret sauce. Like that's what you need to be able to travel the world, kind of like how I try to travel the world. The last time I used this, Whistler Blackcomb in British Columbia, Canada. There is one resort there that says, let me go back to locations. Let me get out of Indonesia. So we're going to go to the right. So right here, you can see that there is one here in West Canada. It says 190. This is the exact method that I used for them. I booked it in advance, and then I had them send me the forms in order to prepay using multiple cards. At that point, I didn't need player 2. Or this may have just been a player 2 booking because maybe my Hilton Resort credits were all gone. Because maybe like Chicago, I don't remember exactly, but basically the same thing happened. So that is the secret sauce. Let me check the chat real quick because people have been typing. All right, Cedar Joel says, "Love the Hilt." Oh, sorry, I was showing you guys stuff and I didn't even switch. Here is where Whistler is in West Canada. Sorry about that. All right, reading the chats. Love the Hilton Aspire in Puerto Rico. Most Hilton hotels are resorts, and the credit covers the room rate too. That's right. So when we head over to Puerto Rico, which I've been to, by the way, there's a video from last summer of me going there. Feel free to check that out. I did a day trip to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Island. But let's see what Puerto Rico is working with. Yeah, so we're seeing like 215, 191. So, they're not the cheapest, right? And you would more so want to be in this San Juan region. So these are not the cheapest. That Double Trees looks like it's the cheapest at the moment, but I wouldn't really stay here because, yeah, I would stay for Puerto Rico. I would stay in San Juan. I remember I stayed in Bayamon when I was in Puerto Rico, and I regret it because I got like a free night, or I used Hyatt points to stay at the Hyatt place Bayamon, and I did not like it. But I would stay here because there is something to be said about having to Uber down to the beach anyway or over to the beach anyway, and just being in that atmosphere. Sometimes it's just worth it to be in the atmosphere. But that's not to say that if you book this $191 DoubleTree, it's still probably a fine hotel. Yes, you're still going to pay some money out of pocket, but you're just not going to have to pay as much out of pocket as you would for this Coronado Plaza. Yeah, I would say it looks like an amazing hotel, but I would stay at the DoubleTree. All right, let me read some more comments. Sendo says, "Yo, okay, what's up, Sendo? All right." Shanawaz Farid says, "Let's go. Thanks so much for the help. I've been researching for weeks and couldn't get details like you gave in just a few minutes. Nice." Justin Chai says, "Hilton Aspire or Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. You would want multiple Hilton Aspires over Bonvoy Brilliants. Player 2 has 2 Bonvoy Brilliants. I only have 1, but you still have to be diversified. But player 2 doesn't need a Delta Reserve because I have the Delta Reserve. Because yes, once you use your companion certificate for the year, you can't use it again. It's not like when you get the sign up bonus with the Southwest card and you have unlimited. So yes, if you have multiple Delta trips within the United States or the Caribbean or Central America, then having multiple Delta Reserve cards would be nice. But that's typically not the case with people. People aren't going on crazy trips, crazy vacations, 4 times a year. So it wouldn't be worth it for you to have multiple Delta Reserves. It would be worth it for you though to have multiple Hilton Aspires, but a Hilton Aspire over a Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, I would go with the Hilton Aspire. You're just going to get more value out of it. The free night is worth more with the Hilton Aspire because the free night certificate that you get with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant can only be used at a maximum of 85,000 point property. So when I went on a snowboarding trip to Denver and we went over to Beaver Creek near Vail, I stayed at the Beaver Creek Lodge, which is still a really nice hotel, but I used the free night certificate, multiple free night certificates to stay there. Whereas there is a Ritz-Carlton, and I can actually show, I can show it to you. Let me just show it to you. Yeah, I'm just going to show you what I'm saying because it's going to make more sense when you see the points breakdown. And it doesn't matter that I'm not on the exact date right now because the hotel, it won't really change all that much. Not being signed in, I probably can't see let me see if I can see how many points. Oh no, it won't. Let me see if I update the search. And then let me go to the map. Okay. Okay, so Vail Resorts. Ooh, I do not like this map that they gave me. Okay, so Vail Resorts is this red dot right here. And then this 106,000, that's the Beaver Creek Lodge. So it doesn't cost that much right now. When I did the booking, it probably costed maybe 90. But there's another hotel, the Ritz Carlton Bachelor Gulch, and it's 120. Using your Marriott Bonvoy Brilliance free night certificate, you cannot stay here because they do allow some leeway. So you get an 85,000 point free night certificate, and you can top off 15,000, a maximum of 15,000. So you can stay at a 100,000 point property, but you would have to have the 15,000 to cover the spread. Uh, it's impossible to use a free night certificate at the Ritz Carlton Bachelor Gulch though, unless you just had the points. But even if you had the points, you can't use a free night certificate. So it's literally no use. But this is what that hotel looks like. And then there's another pretty nice one up here. What's that? The Westin. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. So if I was to go back there, I'm staying at Beaver Creek Lodge all day. Or if I was to go to Vail, they have the 69,000 one. The residence in Vail, it looks pretty nice. It's not as nice as the Beaver Creek Lodge because I've been there and I know what it's like. But yeah, so that's one reason why the Hilton Aspire is better, because the Hilton Aspire free night certificate, you can literally stay anywhere that has availability. Availability is a big one. Some properties, they're just not going to be available when you want to be there. That's why you got to try to think really strategically in advance about these things, because sometimes it's not, like, it's just not going to have the availability. The $400 property credit, that just doesn't exist with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. They try to give you some value by giving you the $300 dining credit, $25 a month. That does not roll over. And that comes in handy. I like the $25 dining credit, but it doesn't really match the $400 that you get with a Hilton Resort Credit, especially when you use it optimally. And then you get automatic diamond status with the Hilton Aspire, whereas with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, you're only getting platinum elite status. It's platinum elite status or titanium elite status. But either way, those two Marriott statuses are not the highest that they offer. Hilton gives you the highest status. So that's why I would say get a Hilton Aspire over the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. All right. So Justin Chai, I hope I answered that question for you. And then Shanawaz Farid says, can't wait for your UAE videos because I'm planning upcoming trips myself. Easy day. Yeah, look out for those. Make sure anybody in here, make sure you smash the like button for me, by the way, so this gets to more people so that they can take advantage of what you now know. Sindo says, yeah, I forgot about the, Sindo says, yeah, I forgot about the resort credit, so I definitely need to use my free night certificate on a resort, huh? Not exactly. So you don't need to use a free night certificate on a resort. You just need to use the resort credit on a resort. So let me see if I can think of a location where it doesn't count as the resort, but it's a place that you would use like a free night certificate. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the. All right, here's an example. I'm going to go to Utah. No. I'm looking at like Park City, Utah for like the Waldorf Astoria. But I don't think, dang, it's not going to work. All right, but let's just say, for instance, I mean, they should have multiple Hiltons here that you can use a free night certificate on. But I'm going to take the resort off and let's see what happens. So now all these other ones pop up just because I took the resort off. So let me put that resort back on. But yeah, so you can use the free night certificate at properties that aren't necessarily resorts. Another example that I would check would be like, is the Beverly Hills Waldorf Astoria like considered a resort for the credit. This would be another example. So the Beverly Hills Water Astoria would be like somewhere. This isn't it. It's going to be like somewhere over here, and then uh, it doesn't count as a resort. So this is an example of one. So when I take this resort filter off, and you see all of these, now we look for, where is it? Yep, it's right there. Water Astoria Beverly Hills. It does not have the resort filter on it, but you can still use your free night certificate on it. So, and this is one of the best Hilton properties in the world. So I'd love to stay there. I wouldn't use a resort credit on it though. It's just much too expensive. All right, let me get to some of these other chats. Grizzly Slate says, "Funny you're on here talking this. 8 just landed from Doha, staying at the Hilton Doha, the Pearl. Oh, is that? Oh, really? Let me see. Let me see where that is. Staying at the Doha. So we got to go back to UAE. He said the Pearl. Yeah, anybody who's been to Dubai, yeah, tell me what your thoughts are on Dubai. I never really wanted to go to Dubai, but the value is just crazy, and it's a relatively cheap stop in the Middle East. Let me see what you're saying. Say Doha. Let me see if I can control F it. Oh, Qatar. Okay. Let me see. No, I don't know where Qatar is. All right. Let's see. There it is. Okay. We found Qatar. Okay, so you're saying that this Hilton property right here. I should have took a look at some of the pictures of the property. Yeah, so that's a pretty nice property. Qatar. Huh. Tell me how Qatar is treating you so far. That sounds like an interesting one. It sounds like somewhere I might like to go one day. Okay. Sindo says, yeah, I forgot about the resort credit, so I definitely need. Okay, I already read that. Grizzly Slate, yeah. Doha Pearl. Moman says, I know you're a rich guy, so do you prefer Marriott properties over Hilton's overall? That's a good question. Which one do I prefer overall? Hilton's, you're usually going to get the best or a better room because of diamond status. Overall, that's actually a good question. Because I've stayed at the Waldorf Astoria Park City, my my experience is a little uh the Waldorf Astoria Park City stole my heart. So it's very difficult to beat. But I've also stayed in very nice, equal or properties that are almost equal to that. Beaver Creek Lodge was amazing, but that Waldorf Astoria Park City, I've never stayed at, like, that was a penthouse. I got a penthouse for free. Like, if that's not crazy, over all of my travels, I've stayed at Marriott's, I've stayed at Hilton's. I'm gonna have to think about this one. I'll probably lean Hilton, but I'll have to think about it because I've stayed at a lot of properties. Like I've stayed at a Ritz, I stayed at the W, I stayed at the Conrad, I stayed at the Waldorf Astoria, I stayed at nice Residence Inn. There's a nice Residence Inn in Philly um, that provides really decent value. Some of the best value for your points that you will ever see in an inner city. I might need to make a video. Which one do I prefer, Hilton or Marriott? Great question. Grizzly Slate, uh, Grizzly Slate says, also the Hilton in the Middle East, especially in the UAE and Qatar, is top notch when you got the Aspire card. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta head out there, and yeah. Thanks for sharing your experience, Grizzly Slate, and thanks for chiming in. Sometimes people will be around the world and they'll be listening to the live streams, and they won't tell me where they are. Like I'd like to know if I'm having an effect worldwide. So I really appreciate you chiming in. Grizzly Slate says beautiful. Okay, so you love in Qatar. Excellent. Shanawaz Farid says, fun fact, if you stay at the Hilton Abu Dhabi, Yas Island, they gave you free daily passes to theme park. What? Theme parks on the island like Ferrari World. Oh man, that is that's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's great to hear. So I'm pretty sure I gave you guys the secret sauce. So the secret sauce is basically, let me get that on me. So the secret sauce is basically if you have a player two setup like I do, and you run out of Hilton uh, resort credits, or if let's say you have six like me, ideally I think you should be at around six, 5 or 6. Just depends on how you measure value out of Hilton. But you should be at 5 or 6 um, or 7. Some people could probably pull this off. Hilton Aspire cards. What you would do is you would contact the property after you reserve it, because reserving it doesn't take away the Hilton credit. It only takes away the credit once you stay there. So like after you're staying, you get the bill. That's when you get the credit. You would ask if you can pay early. They usually let you. Let's say they didn't let you. Well, you just take the reservation off. Now I know some of them they have it so that it's a non-refundable ticket, but it would really surprise me if you're not able to. If you're really scared of the non-refundable rate and you're like, oh, they're not going to let me pay in advance early, then do the refundable booking and then call them and say, oh, I got this booking, can I pay early? And say yeah, and then that's when you can cancel it and then do the non-refundable. So I literally just thought of that just now. It's just some basic logic that I just thought of. But let's say everything works out and you're able to pay early. You pay at $200 increments with each card. Now, if you have a player two setup, you have to get authorized user cards so that you can pay the card you use has to be in your name. Unfortunately, it's a fraud thing. Would a hotel not have it like that? Maybe, but it's not even worth the risk. Already have it set up so that you have an authorized user card. So I have to do that twice. So I already have an authorized user card for player two on one card, and I had to get another one because of the booking, just the way that I set it up. Because I already have Hilton Resort credits that I've used, and so I don't have the full wealth of my Hilton Resort credit right now. What's probably going to happen though, since I am going to Dubai, or not Dubai, so I'm going to Bali in July, and that's where I'm using it. So it's going to basically be like $800, and um, I'm using. I don't think it's $1,000. I forget exactly how much it costs, but let's say it's $800. Let's say it's $820, and I use uh, 4 cards to pay $200, $200, $200, $220. So it only costs $20 out of pocket. and that's how you do that. Um, yeah, so that's the secret sauce. I have some chats. Okay, JT says using the Hilton app, can you filter to search resorts only? The resort credit can be used to pay for the room rate. Uh, yeah, the app you should be able to use it. I don't see why you wouldn't. I usually do it, but so outside of the app, this is what I would do. I would do this outside of the app first, and then go to the app to see the hotel that you like, that you want, because I'm pretty sure you can do it through the app. Where's the filter? Yeah, so there's a way to do it through the app, and I can show it to you right here, but I don't think my camera is going to focus in. So I typed in, you may not be able to see it, but I'm in my Hilton app, and I typed in Dubai. You can't see that quite, but let's pretend it says Dubai up here. There's a button that when you start scrolling, you're going to see this filter and this map pop up. So the map can pop up, and then this filter button at the bottom over my finger pops up, and you filter, and you can see under amenities, it has this filter. These don't really look like buttons, but they are. Has this button called resort, and you click on that resort button, and then now it says see 8 results. And so now the filter works. So you can definitely do it in the app. Um, yeah, I think that answered the question. All right. So, and yes, it pays for the room rate. It also, like, your resort credit is just gonna pay for everything. It's not like taxes. Oh, your room costs $180, and like taxes are $30, so you got to pay those $30 cash. No, if your room and everything is $180 and taxes and stuff is $30, then that $200 is still going to cover the $200 of the pay, and then you come out of pocket what, $10. So it's not a, like, I know what you're saying, because like some resorts, like real resorts, do it like that. Like if you want to go to, like, where is it, like the Bahamas, like their resort fees, they have like crazy resort fees. So like, I know if you are a platinum, not platinum, you have to have some type of status. In military, you guys can get this for free if you just go into a Caesars hotel and sign up for a player's card. But they offer you like a free 5 days, 4 nights in Atlantis, Bahamas, and but the free doesn't cover the resort fee. So I think the resort fee can be covered if you move up to diamond status, but you would have to do something special to do that. You would have to status match over from a status to like Wyndham Diamond status match, and then status match from Wyndham Diamond to Caesars Diamond in order to get the resort fee waived, kind of. But sorry, I got a little bit too deep in the weeds for that. I actually need to come out with a video on that, because that is a crazy benefit that you have in the military. But most people, they would probably do that without paying the. They would do that and they would pay the resort fee, and you certainly don't have to, especially if you're active duty military. But Grizzly Slate says, oh, sorry. Weekend Mixology says, just joined. I'll check out full replay. Funny, I literally was asking you about this on the last video and was reading your reply. Yeah. Yeah, you gave me the idea just to make the video. And then Grizzly Slate says, yow. And Grizzly Slate also said, I got the list. He says, Conrad Abu Dhabi, Etihad Towers. I'll be staying there. Waldorf Astoria, Dubai International Financial Center, Dubai V Hotel, not a resort, but them points go nice. Al Sarif Heritage, very local feel. What's that list for, Grizzly Slate? And then he says, most welcome. Cool. Babo, have I missed a lot? Babo, you missed quite a bit, but um I think I did summarize it for you maybe by the time that you hopped on. Grizzly Slate says, yes, JT is right about the resort credit in Hilton, Yas Island, but I love the Conrad better. Right. And sometimes it is about which hotel is better. Um, Grizzly Slate says, also check out Johannesburg Hilton on a points level. Steal. Ooh, South Africa. Dable says, I was getting that fresh cut. Oh, Kevin Witherspoon says Pattaya. So Thailand through app. Thailand through app. Yeah. So if I had to now, I don't really have any plans to go to Thailand. I'll be heading to Singapore, which is relatively close, but I don't have any Thailand plans. Thailand. Why am I saying Thailand? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't have any Thailand plans. No, I'm definitely saying it wrong. I'm gonna stop saying it. It's not sounding right in my ear. I see some for Bangkok, but I'm sure when you say Pattaya, you're talking about down here. Okay, so how many baht is this? So 5,000 baht. This is why you got to have the currency converter on you at all times. So Thai baht is 5,325. It's 146. Yeah, so this is a pretty good. The Hilton Pattaya is a pretty good redemption because even once you select the dates and you get all this settled out. Let's say, ooh, it is going to definitely depend on what night you stay because there's a huge jump. But let's say you stay from May 10th through the 11th, and you got a all right for this one I would just go whatever's the cheapest. I would roll the dice, whatever's the cheapest, because the disparity between the cheapest and getting a twin room versus getting a king room, the disparity was so big that it's like I just roll the dice and hopefully they give me the upgrade. And if they don't, it's not the end of the world. But free is better than not free. And so there is the cheapest here is this advanced purchase. And so that ends up total being 7,536. 7,536. Thai baht is $207. That's $7 out of pocket. That's nothing. Like Hilton Resort Credit is an OP credit. And then what if you did something like this? What if you stayed on like June 30th and then stayed on July 1st because that's like the day that uh that you get one credit and then you get the next credit because it's $200. That may be a play. I can't see myself executing that, but that might be a play that you could think about if your vacation lines up with the 30th and then the 1st of January, or December 31st and the 1st of January, the 1st of July, or December 31st and then the 1st of January of the next year. Because you would get the $200 for July through December and then another $200 from January through June. JC says, thanks, great information. Yeah, no problem. Grizzly Slate says, damn, I didn't even know that for the resort for the app. And he said, yeah, I always go online. Yeah. So I always go online too. So I can see not knowing that. But yeah, because it doesn't look like a button like on the app. So that's why some people may miss it, because the filters, like you completely miss the amendment. You just think that you're not gonna be able to see that. you just think these down here are just not buttons, so you don't even worry about it. But yeah, if you click on one of them, like a ski, it's gonna show a ski, and then the resort obviously shows a resort, but it has to be filterable under that resort in order to get the resort credit. Uh, if you join late and you don't, I wasn't showing you the Hilton Pattaya when I was going to it, but this ended up being it. Sorry. If you join late and you don't know what the secret sauce is, the secret sauce was basically using player two to help get more value. Because let's say you want to stay somewhere for 4 days, and yeah, you can get it for free for 2 nights or for one night. But then let's say you didn't have enough Hilton Resort credit left. Um, you can use player two, having multiple Hilton Aspire cards, and then you can get authorized users. And so now that triples or quadruples your purchasing power, because when you call or message the hotel, because you're most likely going to have to message the hotel, especially if you're going to these faraway places such as Johannesburg. Let me take a look at that Johannesburg that someone mentioned. Yeah, if you're going to places like this, you can't just call. You can't just do like an international call. So, but they will send you like emails saying, "Hey, thanks for." Wait, where's the? That's Cape Town. Where's Johannesburg? I'm in South Africa. Am I? Am I in the wrong part? Oh, Johannesburg is right here. Okay, so it didn't say. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this Hilton Sandtown, it looks fine. Let me see how much what the currency converts to. So I would type in South Africa to my currency converter, and the currency that they go off is South African Rand, and it's 1,746, which ends up being $91. So this is an example of one that you can do twice. Like you can do twice under one Hilton Resort credit. And so let's say you wanted to stay a week. You could stay a week and then three people fund it, or three cards fund it, kind of. All right, you might have to pull out a fourth card to help fund it. But yeah, you just divvy up the total amount onto different cards. So let's say you wanted to stay at this Hilton Sandtown uh, for 7 days, and let's just say it ends up being $91 per day. Then you would use four cards to cover, or one card covers 2 days, two card covers 4 days, three cards cover 6 days, and then four cards would cover 8 days, but let's call it 7 days. So you would use four cards to pay for this hotel. You just message the Hilton Sandtown once you did the booking, did the reservation, and you asked request to pay early, and they would send you something, and then you would, as long as you're an authorized user on the cards that you're using, or that it's your card, you would pay the $200 in increments of $200 until you get to the point where you can't really pay, um, or you have to finish off the balance. Then you just pay the rest of the balance. Okay, Kevin Witherspoon Vlog says another secret redemption for military is select government rate under filters in the app. So the government rate, yes, I found that it sometimes it's not as cheap as like the other rates. That's just been maybe my experience. Shanawaz Farid says, did you get the Hilton promotion email saying stay 3 nights at any Waterford Astoria, Luxor, or Conrad Hotel or Resort and get the fourth night on us? No, I haven't. but I can check. Was this a recent email that you received? I don't see it. Tell me Astoria. It might be in here, but I don't see it. Shanawaz Farid says, wondering if you could double dip the resort credit in the Hilton promo. Interesting. That'll be an interesting one. Yeah, so I hope this video helps. And if you're in here, definitely smash that like button for me, because yeah, we really just broke it down, like how to really find the good deals for using that Hilton Resort Credit. And it's not just the spots that I mentioned, like the Thailands or the Balis or the Dubai's, Abu Dhabi's, the I showed you in the Caribbean how what was that, St. Kitts. I showed you over here. There's a lot. What does Panama City have? Panama City has some pretty cheap 82 Hilton Garden Inn. If I go to Panama City though, I would want to use FHR to stay at this Waldorf Astoria, and then behind this Waldorf Astoria, like somewhere over here, there should be a Marriott, a relatively nice Marriott. But yeah, there are plenty of places. You just have to kind of figure out where you want to go in the world and just map to that. So if you're early in your journey and you're in the military and you need to get all these cards, still keep working toward getting all of them, but having a back of your mind, yeah, one day I want to be in. I mean, you can still want to be in Aruba, but it would be really expensive to be here. Yeah, so this wouldn't be on my list of places to use the resort credit. Maybe like a free night certificate, but definitely, uh, what was it, St. Kitts? Yeah, like this one. Um, Barbados. I don't really have any aspirations to go to Barbados, but if you do, you can stay relatively cheap, and then you got to find when it's nice and cheap. Ooh, okay, I see 179 here, and then you just plan your vacation around that. I'm back at the chat. There is a link for the promo. It won't let me post here. URL's too long. We'll post in the comments, then you can check it out and give your take. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just post it in the comments. It's called Hilton Santon. Yeah, that's the one in Johannesburg. Babo says my next card will be the Charles Schwab MX Platinum. Does that have a referral link? So when I can apply, you get some points. Yeah, I gotcha. So the Schwab Platinum, it does have a referral link, um, but referrals for the Schwab Platinum don't really work the way they do for the normal one, because you kind of have to apply through like the Schwab website. Let me see, but I don't think I've referred too many people to the Schwab Platinum, because it just may not let you. I think it just goes through the normal referral. I'll post that for you. There you go. Okay. Oh, and you need to change. YouTube Studio is giving me an error. What's it saying? Okay, I don't know what the error it was given was. Grizzly Slate says military rate 90% of the time is cheaper overseas for Hilton. Definitely. So yeah, just be strategic about where you want to go. Have this map open. Just think all the places, all the spots in the world that you'd like to visit. If you want to go to Morocco, I don't know if there's one in Morocco. There might be. Yeah. If you want to go to Morocco, check the price. Have your. I'm gonna get out of Spain. Check the price. Have your currency converter out. See what you can make happen. Use some sign up bonuses to pay for flights over there, or use American Express Platinum cards to buy $200 increments of United Travel credits, and then you can load those on. And at a certain point, you end up like how I had it a few videos ago, or one of the last live streams when I showed you guys how much I have in my United Travel wallet, and that wasn't even like, it was a lot, but it wasn't even everything that I've loaded on, because I've traveled so much. Like, I've traveled for so many people, and I just, I've already pre-booked for summer plans. So, next year will be, I'll be gardening, not really gardening for credit cards, but I will be trying to get some more leave back, because I've used a lot of leave. Unfortunately, when I transferred my last PCS, I used a lot of leave before I checked into my command, and now I regret that, but I kind of don't. But it is what it is. So I still need to build my leave days back up, because in the military we just don't have unlimited leaves. We can't just go backpacking for 6 months. In Europe, it doesn't work like that. All right. Shanawaz Farid says United Airlines will be starting Newark to Marrakesh flight starting in October, I think. Marrakesh. Nice. Make sure I know where Marrakesh is. Oh, Morocco. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, so then some of these Morocco properties become, I gotta look up how much the the currency is worth there. So Morocco, they go off Moroccan dirham, and then this property is like, okay, so this Hilton Garden Inn is probably going to be pretty cheap, but things look like they're occurring more. Ooh, a Conrad, 2,355. Okay, this is like going to be fairly expensive. I mean, it ends up being $234. Might be worth it. I mean, I would say definitely worth it. I would not use a free night certificate on this property because it's only 234. I would definitely use a Hilton Resort Credit on that. That's easy. Hey, Babo with this. Hey, the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. He says, appreciate your honesty with us. Your channel has been great. Thanks, Noble. Ooh. Yeah, definitely appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the love. Um, as always, thank you guys for supporting me. I try to travel and then give that information back to you guys, because, somebody enters the military every day or every week, right? I'm in the Navy, and I've been to Chicago, a few times within the past couple of months. And anytime you're in Chicago, because that's where Recruit Training Command is, you're always going to see recruits, especially if it's a Friday. You're always going to see, the latest class of recruits that graduated and they're on their way out. Um, I try to talk to the young recruits anytime I see them out. I don't push credit cards on them. I just talk to them, see how they're doing, see what their career plans are. But maybe nowadays, I'll start kind of letting people know, hey, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that they can I can get them into the fold, because you need to. If someone knows that they're gonna do, let's say, 20 years in the military, even if they don't do 20, let's say they did only 10, if you can get them into it early instead of at year 3, like how I was, that's so much value that you can gain from this. It's crazy. You go so many places, like you can see the world. You just got to be strategic. You got to have that forethought. I was recently out at lunch, and the master chief was with us, and she mentioned that she was using a debit card to make a payment for like a laptop. I was like, no, don't do that. Just use a computer, or just use a credit card so you can get the points. She was like, oh, I'm not going into debt. I was like, people really still think like this. Like, just because you use a credit card does not mean you're going into debt. Like, I'm working on sign up bonuses right now, but my credit cards have, if I wasn't working on a sign up bonus to get for the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve and the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite, my utilization is like zero. So that's utilization zero out of what I could be using. My capability is around like 400,000. And so people look at that as debt. It's like, it's not debt. Like, it's really good to have a utilization at 0% when you could be spending 400,000. So, so yeah, that's why sometimes these senior people in the military, they may not be the best at giving this type of information, because also if you're senior, if you have the most influence in the military, you're probably senior. If you're senior, you've been around long enough that now you're probably in the G fund of your TSP to like hold all your value instead of losing it. Let's say the C fund drops. So, uh, and then like you're just on your way out. So you're risk averse. Not saying that this is super risky, but is there a chance that American Express could not or stop waiving a fee? I guess. But some people, they've just been programmed to think credit card is bad, debit card goods. This is not the case. Um, and most of the time when I'm talking to people that are in the military about travel, it's most of the time it's places that they have deployed. I didn't get anywhere that I've been by deploying, because I don't deploy. Um, Not because I'm like, there's something wrong with me, like I got a broken leg or something. I just don't deploy. This is not the type of job that I do. Almost wish that I did, because I would be able to explore a little bit more of the world. But yeah, it's just not how it is. How long have I been going for? Gotta check YouTube. An hour and 23 minutes. Anyone have any other questions that I can answer, or maybe you put a chat in that I didn't get to because I couldn't see it and it's not showing up on my screen? Uh, oh, some other chats have come in. Grizzly Say says, check out Quetsu Nairobi Curio Collection by Hilton Nairobi. Okay, so the Africa thing. The only reason why I mentioned Morocco is because that's like the cheapest. It's one of the cheapest spots to get to in Africa. I don't know how cheap it is to get to Kenya, but I know that like I should say within the continent of Africa, getting to other places, it's not like Europe. It's not like where it takes like $70 or $100 to fly from Barcelona, or from like Prague to Barcelona, or sorry, Prague like Paris. It's just much more expensive. So I would have to check the flights on that. But Morocco is a cheap place to go just because it's on the coast. So if you go from the East Coast to the West Coast of Africa, and that's like the furthest west, that's like the closest west that there is to America, you can understand why that would be cheaper. But yeah, if you want to go to Africa, yeah, check out some of the deals that they offer. Um, Babo says, people don't believe me when I tell them I'm making $2,150 a year in United credits. I'm looking at over 3,000 in the next year and a half with a few more cars. Yeah, facts. What percent do you put in your TSP, Noble? All right, so this usually I'm at 15%, but sometimes real estate gets in the way of that. Um, Not that it should, but real estate does get in the way of that because when you have properties and sometimes properties have issues, you do need to you need to dip in some money that you should have that you don't because you invested. So I'm not at 15% right now, but normally I'm at 15%. Could I be doing more? I could, but I'm also sacrificing my now for a little too much for the future when I'm already sacrificing my now by having real estate. So I know a lot of people, they max out, they're all about maxing out. And I wish I could be like that. It's just, you know, I kind of chose a lane that I almost have to stick to until it can't work. And if it can't work, then I'll go to the TSP. But so far, real estate works. Um, Real estate works really well, especially for building wealth. Instagram at I should put that on the screen as well. Let me see if I can. It's the all right. I think I was able to put it on the screen, but yeah, that's my Instagram. I should have put the PNG for the Instagram, but it's fine. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me there. I post a lot of the travel stuff that I do. I post it there so you can see it. So I'm not really capped. Like I really go these places. So like I try to talk about places that I actually go to, but there are places that are aspirational that I haven't been to yet that I'll also talk about, and then also places that I may not see myself getting to, but if I find a good deal, I'll let you guys know. And I've been going for about an hour and 30. So if that's all the questions, I'll go ahead and get off here. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, leave a comment and I'll answer that comment. Someone commented earlier. Who was that? Yeah, Weekend Mixology commented earlier that he hopped on this live stream as I was answering his previous question, which is kind of on the same lines as this video. And it was a really long response. So I'm really thorough when I try to answer you guys' question. So, yeah. In game says, I just learned that even though both my wife and I can't earn a platinum sign-up bonus anymore, we are earning points by referring platinum cards, Aspire cards to each other. Yeah, good stuff. Self referrals, hopefully those don't die anytime soon. But yeah, those. Sorry, it's not a self referral. It's just referring to someone else. But yeah, Renee Copeland says thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Anyone still in here, make sure you hit that like on the way out because we are out. Anymore? Shauna Wasfari says, thanks so much, Noble. I got the Aspire last week and will upgrade my Surpass thanks to your great info. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, next year, this time, or the next time, or whenever you get that surpass, whenever you've had that surpass for a year, when you upgrade it, it's going to feel good, because it's a long game sometimes. Sometimes it just takes years to accomplish what you need to accomplish when you're doing things like this. But if I see one more viewer drop out, I'll drop out. Looks like people are still here. I'm here for any last alibis, last hurrahs. Nobody has dropped out. I'm waiting for one last, if anyone has anything.